Hello everyone, and welcome to this special video where I'm going to be talking a bit about the buy rounds and how I approach them and what sort of strategies I use to help myself navigate through the buys. So please take note that this video is being recorded prior to round 11 and before round 11 team selection. So the current trades that I have may change. Now those trades being Martin to Cameron and Taranto to Sinclair. Now I did have to change up my trades a little bit after hearing the news that Taranto was going to miss another week. So they're how my trades are looking at going into round 11. So now we'll switch on the buy detector. Now, for those of you who are unaware, you can get this buy detector feature for yourselves by subscribing to Fantasy Coach. Now, you can get a monthly subscription for $5 and then you could cancel it after the buys. That's what I would suggest doing. And yeah, for all those who are hardcore fantasy coaches out there, I'd strongly recommend getting this buy detector feature as, it definitely helps you out a lot. And with all the color coding, it definitely paints a clear visual image of how your team will look like on each given buy round. So I definitely recommend getting that. In terms of the basic things to note about the buys, obviously only your best 18 will count on any given buy round. In terms of the basic principle and the most common sort of strategy that most of you should know when we get to the buys is what we're looking to do is trade out a player who's on their buy to a player coming off their buy. Now, another thing that a lot of people like to do is stack up on premiums who have a later buy, like the round 13 buy, round 14 buy. Now, while that does make a lot of sense, I'd still be very cautious in doing that as it might sneak up on you, and once you get to the round 14 buy, you might realise that you have a whole lot of premiums, and you might struggle to field an 18, or within that 18 is, the majority of them are rookies. So you just want to be careful that you don't have too many players on that round 14 buys. It definitely can come back to bite you. Now, that's something I've been working on the last couple of weeks by getting in some round 12 players. That's something I like to do, and what I've been trying to do is bringing in guys like Sam Doherty and this week Jack Sinclair, so just to kind of balance out my buy structure a bit. Another thing that I like to do in the buys is, obviously we're trying to get as many players fielded as possible to get that best 18 every week, but instead of kind of counting how many players I have each week, I like to count how many premiums I have on each given buy round. Now, I think that's the most important thing is premiums across the buys are going to be vital, and they're going to be the ones that really drive your score and what can give you an edge over the rest of the competition. So you just want to make sure on every given buy round you have a substantial number of premiums. What I look to target is around 13 to 14 sort of plays that you can classify as premiums on each given buy round, and I think if you can achieve that, your team should score solidly each week. So what I like to do initially is have a long glance over my team and kind of work out which buy rounds are going to be my strongest, which buy rounds are going to be my weakest, and you just kind of analyse where my premiums sit and how many premiums I'm going to have on each given buy round. So we'll start by looking at the round 12 buy and how my team currently looks at the round 12 buy. Now, as you can see, I still have a fair chunk of premiums playing on that week. You can see in my midfield, basically my entire midfield of premiums are playing. I still have a few premiums in defence. I have a premium ruckman and 4 kind of premium forwards playing on that round 12 buy. So what that tells me is I should have a strong round 12 buy. And also you can see the rookies there. There's a lot of green rookies which all share the same buy. So they'll be able to cover for me for the round 12 players on that bye weekend. So what that shows me is that I should be able to field around 20 to 21 players in that round 12 bye, even before trades. So what I want to do there is definitely not bring in any more players who have that round 13 and 14 buyers. I'm pretty strong in that regard. So then we move on to the round 13 bye. Now this is where it gets a bit more tricky, and as you can see, I still have a fairly good amount of premiums playing on that week already, but the issue here is, as you can see on my bench, all those rookies that I have there all share that round 13 buy, so they won't be able to cover any premiums that I'm missing this week. As you can see in the midfield, Smith, Keys, McRae, they're all missing, so I don't have any cover for them. So that's where it gets a bit tricky, where I might struggle to field the 18. So what I do to kind of combat that is it all starts before round 12. Now, I don't want to be targeting any or don't want to be making any upgrades in that round 12 week. I don't want to be bringing any more players that have a bye ahead of them. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to focus on kind of building a sort of bank, making downgrades, building a lot of cash, and then by the time we get to that round 13 bye, I'll then be able to use that cash to turn guys like McCartan, Cooper Stevens, Greg Clark, Robbie McComb, Hugh Dixon, Sam De Koning. We can all turn them into premiums, maybe even 1 or 2 premiums now. And then what I also don't mind doing during the buys is even sideways trading premiums. Now, you may be thinking, well, that's not going to help you out in the long term, which is definitely true, but it will definitely help you on that certain buy round as you're basically bringing in an extra sort of premium, which it can definitely give you a bit of an edge. Now, for example, I could offload Ben Keys in that round 13 week, trading to someone who's just come off their buy. So guys like Sam Walsh, Josh Kelly, Ollie Wines, those sort of types I could sideways trade Keys to, then that would bring me an extra sort of premium in the midfield, as well as the rookies upgraded to premium. So I could be bringing in around 2 to 3 extra premiums on that week, which basically helps out me on that week and gives me a fair chunk of premiums to play in that middle buy, which will definitely give me a large advantage and definitely be a safe bet to field 18 as well. And then lastly, we move on to the last buy, the round 14 buy. And as you can see, I still have a nice spread of premiums playing. What does concern me a bit there, though, is as you can see, my midfield, probably my 3 best midfielders, Brayshaw, Neil, Oliver, all share that buy. And kind of a couple of defenders in Crisp and Sicily, and we got Max Gore on the ruck. So that's a bit of an issue for me. But basically, what I want to do there is kind of continue what I did in the previous round by kind of upgrading, downgrading rookies, turning them into premiums, and getting premiums that have just come off their buy, and also sideways trading some premiums. So, for example, guys like Darcy Cameron and Will Brodie, at that stage, they might be ready to move on. And what that will allow me is, will give me a large number of premiums to fill the void in round 14. So basically what I'm trying to get at here is you definitely want a fair chunk of premiums playing on each given buy round. As like I said, they're going to be the ones that drive your score. It's not going to be the rookies. And much as it is important to field 18 each week, it's definitely more important amongst 18 to have the majority of them being premiums. And as I said, they're the ones that are going to be drive your score. So the most crucial thing for me is over the next couple of weeks, you really want to be downgrading some of these rookies, building a bank. So once we get to round 13, then you have a lot of money to spend either downgrading or upgrading rookies on that round 13 buy to premiums just coming off that buy, and also sideways trading some premiums to bring in some extra premiums who've just come off their buy as well. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, it'll be much appreciated if you could like, comment, subscribe, and good luck in the upcoming buy rounds. It's definitely challenging, but it's definitely a great opportunity to rise in the rankings. So good luck in the buys. Thanks again for watching, guys.